Business number 3, the camera monitoring system bids. Mr. Norbeck?
We did open the bid today, and the low bid was $6,876.25, if my memory clear, and it was Alarm Pro.
How much again?
Out of Nottoway.
Local, and we received 4 bids, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a variance. The local was $68.76.25, and we would recommend approval contingent upon Josh and I reviewing the bids to make sure. We just opened them this afternoon.
How big a variance?
It was a dramatic variance. I think it was 44,000 was high bid.
And
Second
explain,
bid was 10,000. Third bid was 13.
what are we monitoring?
Exactly, that's what I want to hear.
Explain, because in here we have nothing that shows.
The interior of our administration building and the interior and exterior of our town shop at the bus shop.
How much of it would be reimbursed by the bus shop if it's $6,800 a year? Or no, that's for
Is that
that's
for the
upfront
installation,
cost,
right?
correct?
Let's purchase.
Yes.
All right. So how much of that would be reimbursed by the
We
bus
have
shop?
$15,000 appropriated by DRPT, and I believe our local match would be 5%.
So you're saying this can be done through grant?
Majority with state money.
$300.
So,
Very good.
and then what is the monitoring? Is it done? What's the annual fee for that?
I don't know what the annual fee is on the bids. I haven't taken a close look at that, but we would have access to the monitoring system along with the company if that's the case. So we'd be able to monitor ourselves along with the company.
To give you an estimation, Alarm Pro does the monitoring at the tavern, $240 a year. Yeah,
I
that
would,
is for smoke and alarm.
I would recommend approving it subject to the town manager's
I
approval.
feel comfortable without knowing.
Yeah, let's
What-
review
what-
it.
And you're fine. I'm fine with you approving the yearly fee or monthly fee.
If we get jammed up, we'll come back to you guys.
Okay. Let's have a motion to approve the low bid contingent upon the town manager working out the details on the recurring cost of surveillance.
That's what I moved.
All right.
Second, it so long as it's a 5% match for our half.
I'll double check on that, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's.
I mean, that's a big savings for us.
It is. Motion has been made, duly seconded. It's less than $10,000. All in favor say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. What we got next? For burn building. Oh, goody.
More controversy. Prince Edward County, in writing, has notified the town that they nor the fire companies located within Prince Edward County will continue to be a part of the Fire Commission or participate in the burn building, the Southside Regional Training Commission, I think is what it's actually called. Dinwiddie County Administrator did call me last week, and he's also confirmed that Dinwiddie County nor the companies within Dinwiddie County will be using it. So Nottoway County has agreed to participate, but because we've had so many dropouts that the pro rata share for the grant has dramatically gone up. Okay, it's $161,000 estimated. $165 estimated construction cost. There was a $61,000. I'm using some round figures. $61,000 grant that was approved. The difference is local match. When we had multiple fire companies, it was a much smaller percentage. Now we have 3 fire companies remaining in there, so we're going to have to do some ciphering and some figuring. And 3 are just within Nottoway County.
County Burn Center now, right? It's
Basically, yeah.
basically.
Mike Smith does have a fire commission meeting, if not tonight, very soon. Next week, excuse me. And we'll have a little bit more for you, but I just wanted to let you know we have requested a 1-year extension on the grant from December of 2017. I've made a written request that's included in your packet to go to December of 18 to give us time to go through one more budget cycle if we need to go to the county or Crew or Burkeville, and for ourselves to plan for how we pay our pro rata share for using the facility.
Can I use my stupid question
Go ahead.
for the night? Have we looked, is it feasible to look into joining somebody else? Why is everybody bailing on us? Is there a better deal?
Well, I don't know the internals of it, but Tessie has been working on it, and I think there was a significant amount of confusion about the finances. I think there was a significant amount of confusion about membership, and Tessie had written letters. If you guys remember, we had communicated with all the fire companies and tried to get responses, and help yourself.
I'll be glad to elaborate on that because I was at the meeting, which I guess was around a year ago or so now, maybe more or less, give or take. And, my job was with the burn building task force to kind of get everybody together and say, are you all in or out or what's the deal? Well, when faced with that choice, you know, most people actually became pretty upset about it and decided that they all wanted to stay. And, you know, had kind of reorganized because the alternative at that point was just to dissolve the whole thing and, you know, just let the town deal with it, maintain it, do what they want to do. And at the time, pretty much everybody that had written in, you know, that attended the meeting decided that they would want to stay and reconstitute and things like that.
Let me ask one quick.
Where's Prince Edward and Dinwiddie County gonna go?
Prince Edward built one that just opened this year, and Dinwiddie is partnering up with Prince George County.
Where do our other localities go, such as Lunenburg and Amelia?
South Hill.
So everyone's getting a burn building now, so we don't have anything that's unique anymore. You know, 11 years ago when it opened, we had a neat little thing and it was,
And use
right.
Now, asking you, is it a benefit to the town and to our fire department that we have no other hands involved now, besides the money aspect? I mean, obviously, that's a,
I mean, the downfall was the association did dues. If you wanted to be a part of the association, use the building, you paid dues, the money went to the association. When we got this grant, we put the counties up front and saying, we have this grant, we need some money. And then the counties said, we're out. Even though the individual departments still paid their $500 dues, which wasn't enough to keep, to do $160,000 worth of repairs.
now, when we built this building, obviously, it was a grant, I believe. Were there strings attached that said they needed to be in the organization for X amount of years?
According from my understanding, the town of Blackstone owns the building.
That's correct.
The grant was done using fire programs funds from Dinwiddie County, Nottaway County, and Lunenburg County. Or
Prince Edward.
Prince Edward. Those monies came together to build the building. I want to say that's 15 years ago.
The building was open April of 2006. That was the dedication. I remember it vividly.
Good job.
I think, gentlemen, I can't say we're on our own, but we within Nottaway County are on our own at this point. And if we're going to continue with the burn building, we've either got to find some economies to save some money, and or we got to find some more grant monies, and or we've got to up the contributions from the three.
Can we
communities.
charge other departments? Let's say, part of me is thinking, you know what, let's do this for our Nottaway County volunteers and have a good place, but make sure when Alberta or Daniel or somebody comes to use it, that we kind of sock it to them.
The association does charge per day fee.
Okay.
Being the member and paying the $500 annually excludes you from having that per day fee.
Why is the association collecting fees now? To me, it's all Nottaway County now, correct? Or town of Blackstone?
They were the legal association that started though. That's the problem.
They've always been paid to the association.
Where's the money go once it's in the association?
That's the question. I think Tessie
I think
looked
that,
at some of
that fund
the.
needs to be diverted back here.
No doubt.
I'm not gonna argue that, but the problem with the association is they're fearful of that money that's collected being in a government entity.
They're out. I mean, why do they have to do anything to say about it?
I think he's talking about the other companies, perhaps in Nottaway.
In Nottaway County.
Crew doesn't trust you.
I don't mind if. Yeah.
I don't think that's. What is council's pleasure?
I think his request is to have a little extension. Is that what your request is?
Really no request. I just need to let you guys know.
You're reading a letter seeking an extension.
We're seeking an extension. We're not asking for more money right now, but we need to go through one more budget cycle. So if we go to Crew, Burkeville, or if we're gonna fund it ourselves, or however it's gonna go down, we need to.
Can we task our attorney and the fire chief to figure out how we can get these funds to Nottaway County instead of in the association? I mean, it's our burn building now. It's Nottaway County's in essence.
It's Nottaway.
It needs to come back to our locality.
Have we engaged the board of supervisors?
This is an issue that we're gonna need to.
Do you know how much money is that? Is what
I think it was 12.
12,000?
It needs to come back to the county.
12,000 or 1,200?
12,000.
Okay.
Has the board of supervisors offered any assistance?
Yes, I think they voted for like $4,500 or something like that, or $4,000 plus dollars.
I thought it was $15,000.
15,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
15,000.
That, I mean,
I think we need to
That's
do,
beside, I think we need to get the actual organization of the building under control before we go, hey, we're gonna go get this grant. We need to get this money. We need to get Nottaway County as the actual,
I'm with
it's
you.
only our 3 departments. Don't let someone that has all these other organizations have our money. I mean,
Could we ask the Nottaway Emergency Services Association to maybe, do you think it's possible that the association could make a united front to the Board of Supervisors and explaining this dilemma so the county could sort of take the lead and we could have this thing as a Nottaway County fire training facility?
The problem, there's 2 different entities. Emergency Services has no part of it. So it's the Burn Building Association, which is a different.
Okay. Man.
I
I
don't
like
know.
we're in DC.
Whatever the step is, we need to do it.
Yeah.
Take it to
I'm not gonna argue that.
I mean, I don't want the money in the town. If the other 2 departments have a problem with it being in the town hands, let it be in the county. I don't care. It just needs to be back here instead of wherever
Sounds like we
the
need to
association.
dissolve the association and
Correct.
just make it
Well,
a Nottaway County
I don't know if you-
venture.
I think that'll all be contingent on the fire programs folks at the state who provide most of the monies to see what kind of an entity that they prefer.
Right.
And I think that's probably the first step is to speak to them and say, what do you want us to do?
Can
What's
we
next?
put that on your-
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll take care of it.
And the facility is in Nottaway County. It's not in the town of Blackstone.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So that's all right. Very good. Going on to ongoing projects, nothing on dilapidated buildings. I assume the meals tax is just the same old delinquent, the one that's in bankruptcy. Street improvements, Mr. Van Orbeck, I see the words line of credit.
Right now, we have a Nottaway Avenue $400,000 line of credit that we've used. We fully reimbursed. We don't owe it any money.
Right.
We haven't had to do anything other than make periodic draws and then reimburse once VDOT makes their payments and/or Nottaway County makes their payments. Our contributions were all cash. We had that.
It's worked very well, and I recommend we continue to, I'll make a motion, we continue.
But I'd like to make it specific, because I don't want to be a line of credit to pay payroll and all those kinds of things. But
Projects.
our project downtown, or on South Main Street, and the other one is the project that you're going to vote on tonight, which is the improvements to Wigglesworth Stadium, the upfront around the basketball courts in the stadium. That's a $252,000 grant. We'd like authorization to use that $400,000 line of credit for what they're doing on South Main and for the TAP 21 project at Wigglesworth.
Who was that line of credit through?
Benchmark.
What was the rate? Do you remember?
3 1/4?
It was
We
very,
bid it out, but it was.
it was very good offer.
So my motion is to continue the line of credit to use specifically for these projects that we have under.
And only those projects.
And only those projects.
Mr. Moncur has seconded. One just question. I had a lot of people ask me how much longer on South Main Street. There's been a dust issue. Any idea? Jimmy Johnson was, I think I shared a message I got.
Was that from you?
Yeah.
I received one today.
Yeah,
We hope that this week that they will finish the pipe work. The asphalt may not be done for some time, but it is the contractor's responsibility to maintain the dust and that sort of thing. Hopefully the pipe work will be finished this week. They made it almost to West 4th Street, I guess it is, and they have to go to East 4th Street. So we have about a half a block, 2/3 of a block left to go. We hope that we'll lay that pipe, but remember, there's a significant amount of concrete work still, and then the asphalt will come after that. So
I'd like for us to make sure that daily there's a water truck that goes through there. There's not been a water truck yet to go down South Main Street.
okay, that's
It needs
fine.
to be dust control. I mean, it
yeah.
was,
Can we ask our?
I wasn't here this
firefighter
weekend, but I
Biggs?
did get the call.
and I told Nicole, we were riding around last night, if I lived right there, oh my gosh, I'd be right here complaining like crazy.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I think the resident on 6th and Main just painted a house too.
I mean, it's atrocious. It's,
Well, Mr. Green's made the motion. It's been seconded by Mr. Moncur. And could we just make sure, could someone call Biggs tomorrow and just say that we need some order? Could we do that?
Yeah,
because we're not getting rain anytime soon, so we need to.
okay. Yeah, no problem.
That's not a problem. I just, okay. I know, so I'll call Root. I mean,
We'll take care of it.
all in favor, we'll say, I'll ask for a roll call vote because of the amount of money. All in favor of Mr. Green's motion, starting with Mr. Hamner? That motion carries 7-0. Church Street project continues. Wigglesworth.
Asking you authorization to enter into an agreement with VDOT in the amount of $200, and it's on the last page, as a matter of fact, where the UPC form is. The total grant application, which was approved, is $208,208. Requires a $52,052 local match. Total project, $260,260.
We budgeted this, right?
We did.
I move to approve this request.
Motion's made, do a second. When will construction start? Do we have any idea when it's?
Well, I hope not to interfere with baseball, obviously, but ideally, it's really not a tough project, but I don't know if we'll get it done by March or when baseball season starts, so we'll try to time it around that,
Okay.
so that we don't.
Make that whole place look much better.
There's the
Thank you.
sidewalks, crosswalks, a variety of improvements. Is any lighting improvements as well?
Antique lights on both sides of the street, or excuse me, on one side of the street,
That's
on Harris Street.
Outstanding. All right, motion's been made and seconded. I'll ask for a roll call vote because the local match is over $10,000. Mr. Hamner? That motion carries 7-0. Great work, staff. That's a big grant. Mr. Michael Bagley?
It'll make it 2/3 of the way. We still have to do the walking track from the corner of Harris and Birch to the primary school and then back around, and that will be an application that'll be brought to you at the August council meeting for a resolution to reapply for phase 2. So it's not going to be quite around, but it will be around School Street, Harris Street, Birch Street, and Oak Street. That'll be done. But we also want to go around the ball fields too. That's phase 2.
Okay.
We applied for, and we'll know for sure in the spring next year.
Very good, very good. That motion carries. I see we have nothing yet. I keep getting news releases from the governor, but there's been no announcement on East End grant, yay or nay, not yet. But the governor's smart. Instead of doing a big press release with all these localities, he throws them out one at a time, so it gets more attention that way. But no Blackstone yet. Nottoway Avenue sidewalks.
We've had some questions in regards to finishing 2 driveways. They should be here. Harmon Saunders has responded that they'll be here paving 2 driveways, one for Miss Crawley and the other one for the lady that you had called me about. They should be done this Wednesday. Okay? And we have some dress up still, some grass to be planted, that sort of thing. We do intend on surface treating when Whitehurst comes to town, the entire length of the project, all the way to the end of the state maintenance, and then the state will reimburse that portion of it, or pay directly to Whitehurst that portion of it. And so it'll be tar and gravel over the entire section, and then we'll come back once the gravel comes off, and we'll put some stop bars at the stop signs.
I know it's not in Blackstone, but the last house, the right before you get to the apartments, it's right sketchy right there. Are they gonna?
Well, that'll be Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a report, Miss Crawley's house. That's the one. Yeah, then Wednesday that the contractors will be back on it.
When is the cookout in that
That's
ward?
exactly what I was thinking. Could we do the ribbon cutting in concert with the cookout?
Tony's not here. I can find out.
I think
look at-
Mr. Mitchell might have that.
That would be Ward D.
D.
When and where is a Ward D cookout?
Mount Zion.
October 10th.
Second Street.
Oh, are you? If it's now this President Thompson's ward.
Yeah, so opposite side of the road.
Yeah.
Let's do it separate. Let me try to make sure we get it as finished. I don't want to promise it's all 100%. And
I'm just curious. I ask a lot of dumb questions, but sometimes they
No,
bear
it's good.
fruit.
Just get back to us on a date. I mean, I think it's worthy. It's a $500,000 project. It's been almost 4 years since Mr. Johnson brought it to our attention. And that project was one we didn't even think we'd even get the grant, and we got the grant,
And the
so.
Rotary they do have a grant for a bus shelter they're putting down there as well.
speaking of which, the folks that we have met with the folks at Cole Harbor, and they have indicated a location where they want to put it. There's already a concrete slab, so they would like to have it put there.
Very good. All right, moving right along. The utility upgrade, nothing to report. Under new business, we have,
Can we add one thing to old business?
yes, sir.
I've had a lot of people, when I say a lot, several people, who are actually complaining about the way Bumex grass is not being.
I'm one of them.
It's an eyesore, it's a nice neighborhood in town, and you got a lot of people who are proud of their residences and the way they keep them up. And we're getting second shifts. They talking a good fight, but they not doing the job.
It is responsibility of the Methodist Church
Well,
to do it,
somewhere or another-
and we have contacted them. They do not want us to cut it because we charge the extra $100. The last time it was cut by Carthen Curran. He paid for it to be cut, actually, the last time. I
The
think
whole field, what's a grass cutting bill to cut that? I mean,
about $600.
absolutely, every 2 weeks.
That's not weed eating.
That's bush hogging it,
They're just bush hogging the property.
That's bush hogging it.
That's not what the ordinance is.
No, it's
The
not.
ordinance is-
every 10 inches.
What do we want to do? This is one of these
to
enforcement.
enforce it. We had an incident on South Main this week.
Well, I think of this, you can't do with a bush hog what you can do with a lawnmower. But you can make that grass look pretty presentable with a bush hog if you take your time and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not willing to say we got to come out and manicure the place. And it's probably not in the cards to even expect that. But I do think it is reasonable to expect a better job than we're seeing and done on a more frequent basis.
We had an incident this week where we had a report of overgrown grass on South Main Street. Jennifer Daniel called the property owner and they said it's not being fair to them. Technically, if we're not enforcing VMAC, it's not.
No, he brought up Huddle House. He didn't say VMAC. He said if Huddle House's grass doesn't have to be cut.
Well, I didn't mention.
But Huddle House has been cut. I mean, it's manicured now.
Well, the ordinance is real simple. It's 10 inches. We went from 12 to 10.
The bus stop there has been grass going around, but where people come with on the bus.
What, I mean, and here's the fact, let's just, it's awkward, and we know that the state Methodists have been through some issues with that facility, but what are we deciding? Are we saying another phone call tomorrow morning? Are we saying put the town guys out there and start cutting
They
it?
know to cut it, and they have a period of time where we've written letters, we've asked them to do it just like we do everybody else, and then they have a period of time to cut it. I'd have to check with Jennifer's time lapse. Hal has been cutting it directly for them, not for the town, because they don't want to pay the town the $100 administrative fee every time we cut it. So I don't know if they have contacted Hal.
$100, there's also a $100 fee.
That's what I just said, yeah, administrative fee every time that we cut it.
If we cut it, what is it, on top of the administration fee, aren't we gonna assess a charge for cutting?
Yeah, we would,
$100?
well, whatever the low bid was is what it would be, but that would be put as a lien on the property.
Lean, okay.
Yeah.
But they're not cutting it every 2 weeks, I tell you that.
Well, the main thing is, like I said, once it's 10 inches, what,
I think your choice ought to be either you take care of it or we will.
I think.
That is the choice, and
Okay,
I think they're aware of that. I think they don't want to spend the money, quite frankly, and,
Sorry, I think that ship has sailed.
pardon?
That ship has sailed.
We'll hit it tomorrow. I'll put a bush hog on it tomorrow
I'm
morning.
sorry. I mean, I'm a Methodist, but I'm telling you, that ship has sailed. You have messed around. I'm asking council to cut that grass and send them a bill.
Starting tomorrow, effective tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
You wanna
I'll
give-
cut it
you wanna
tomorrow
give-
morning.
You wanna give them till 12 noon for the mowers to arrive?
I do not. I do
Okay,
not.
okay, all right.
Do
Let's
not.
take the motion clearly then.
I'm saying that effective immediately, we cut the grass and send them a bill. I don't know how it can be any more plain.
Okay, is there a
Try this
second?
one.
Is
With a lien being placed if they refuse to pay the bill.
That's correct.
is
A
there-
$100 administrative fee assessed. It's fine with me. We're happy to do
You
it.
inspect it every 10 days to make sure it doesn't need it again.
I'll add that to it.
All right. And the good news on this is the grass is gonna stop growing in about 6 weeks, but
We think.
we think, global warming. Mr. Green's offered that as a form of a motion.
I have.
Is there a second? Two Methodists, all right, being consistent here. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Say it loud.
Ah!
Any nays? The ayes have it.
May the Lord keep blessing me.
Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. I'm
I do
playing.
know what I'm doing this time. I've had enough.
DBI has a request. Moving along, they have a request about the revolving loan pool fund. Mr. Norbeck?
Here at the office one day, $25,000 check showed up. We did not know what it was for. We have put it in. We were informed by DBI. It is to add to those funds that we already have set aside for loan pool activities. I don't particularly remember when the application was made, but it was made by DBI. The funds were made to the town, and we received the check and we deposited it. And DBI is now asking for that $25,000 to be released to them for, I assume, for loan pool purposes, and that was what the application was for.
No, what they want to do in a nutshell is they are administrating our loan pool that has the strict guidelines by the state. They'd like to take the $25,000 and do it on smaller projects, have more flexibility, maybe 0% interest, put the money to work on a smaller scale and let them deal with it. So I move that we remove the 25,000 from the 78 and give them autonomy over that $25,000.
I think that your motion should also include that money be audited. I don't think it's that needs to have some sort of an audit process at their expense or whatever expense or however it's done if DBI has an auditor. But if it's not going to be under the town's control, I do think it needs to be still publicly
only
audited.
for downtown district.
That's correct.
I think it was for Main Street.
Yes, Main Street, in the Main Street district, that's correct.
The $25,000 a day, and the DBI they'd have sole autonomy over who gets it.
That's, I assume the request, I'm not.
That's your motion.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second to Mr. Green's motion?
Yes.
Mr. McCure has seconded. I detect some concerns, or maybe I'm being over,
The only concern I have is, I heard, and it may not be the case, 0%, is that really what it
The
is?
flexibility of it, of whatever they need to do.
I don't think it's fair to all the businesses in Blackstone if,
All the businesses can apply.
not if you're outside the district.
Well, that's,
It's not fair for those that want to invest one block out.
well,
And they gotta go
I'm
get
one
a-
block
I
out,
know.
getting
And
ready
say
to
if
make
you
$1
wanna
million
go get-
investment,
go
but
get a loan, you
I
gotta
know
pay
I'm not,
5-6%.
but I know I'm not in that district, and it is what it is.
I see Mr. Zachary Whitlow with his hand up patiently. Yes, sir, Mr. Whitlow. Come on up to the podium.
Good evening, thank you.
Good evening.
I wanted to say that it is fair to the businesses in the district because DVI specifically represents the businesses within the historical district. That is just, we get that flag from different residents sometimes, and unfortunately, that's the case of the matter. You know, that's the way it is. Whoever falls within the historical district, those businesses are eligible for that revolving loan pool.
The only thing I'm intrigued by a little bit is the fact that, you know, the money does belong, this is state money coming to the people of Blackstone, through its duly elected representatives. I'm just a little concerned, and maybe you can reassure me that wouldn't the people's representatives want to have some oversight over that loan pool? As we've had in the past, I remember one meeting we approved it, $100,000, the first two applications were, I believe, Blackstone Coffee and Bistro and J&L. Does council wish to relinquish control? I know we're trying to I know council's trying to give DBI more autonomy, and this might complement that philosophy.
If I may make a point,
Yes, yes.
with all due respect,
Yeah.
I understand that there may be issues, and we can have Virginia Main Street coordinate with town council if needed, but the $25,000 that came through the downtown investment grant does technically belong to DBI.
Okay.
It was given to the town to fund the revolving loan pool, which isn't an issue if we wanted to go that route.
Right.
But we are within our right to implement that dig in such a manner.
Gotcha. All right. Mr. Green's made a motion. Is there a second? Mr. McCure seconded the motion. Does council feel better? I just detected, does the manager feel better?
I mean,
I detect concerns on your part.
My concerns are only in the auditing process.
In the auditing, if that is a concern, financial statements and reports do get sent to the DHCD based on the general guidelines of the former CDBG.
Okay.
Still,
I think you're right. You would say that for if it was a recreation associate, whatever. That, understand. Very good.
We don't need to lose sight of the fact that they're taking care of that fund now anyway. So
Right.
this is apples and apples. It's not apples and oranges.
I got you.
So it's not a new concept for them. It just gives them a little bit more flexibility on a smaller scale.
Very good.
You can spread it out a little bit. That's why I'm in favor of it.
I'll ask for a roll call. It's only because we're talking about something over $10,000. Starting with Mr. Hamner.
nay.
Motion carries 6-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whitlow. Moving right along, next item, you have a Talbot and Bright to do some design and engineering for services, for some work at the airfield.
now that we have completed, these are our engineers of record, and now that we've completed the airport layout plan, we are now back in good stead with the state, and we are eligible to apply for construction grants. We've always been able to apply for maintenance grants, but now we can apply for construction, and this is an agreement which had expired with Talbot and Bright. I'm asking you to renew this and allow us to begin the process of applying for a construction grant.
Okay.
Is that for the construction grant would be for the road?
No, they have indicated they would not pay for the road if their Department of Aviation's opinion is that it's for a single source, and will not do that. The road would be paid fully out of fuel revenue. There are other projects, i.e., if you look at the capital improvement plan, there are taxiways that we've been discussing. That would bring aircraft onto the runway security system. I think there's a water line that we'd like to get down to the hangar area. Different things like that. But,
Is there anything in the hangar? The hangars are right ragged. I mean,
hangars are old.
30 years old, or more than that.
Oh, God, they were ancient when I got here.
You're right.
30 years ago. Here's the problem with hangars. You don't make very much on them. You make $100.
charge $100 a month. That's way too cheap.
You're not making much on them. And I don't know, according to Mr. Allman, who's kind of my airport guru that I speak with, even in Chesterfield or Farmville or Southfield, the market is not dramatically more than that. It may be somewhat more, but you're gonna have to have things like climate control. You're gonna have things
Right.
other than a
More
ground
amenities,
floor and
right.
pigeon pooping on your
All
airplane.
right.
So the problem is Department of Aviation will not pay for new hangars. They will only pay for the site work in preparation for new hangars. I'm not saying it's not a bad project, but I'm just saying, I don't think we have the money. And if you look at the square footages, and I think Frankie Williamson had actually given us some T hangar cost estimates, they're quite expensive to build. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars, so another one of them in there. The state will pay for the site work,
Not construction.
but not the structure. So we're gonna have to pay for that out of our own funds on the fueling. And, yeah, we're okay.
What, roughly, I should know this, I don't, roughly how many folks out there keep a plane at our airport?
I believe it's 12.
12? Just roughly?
12.
Do they
Okay.
have to have a plane in there? Or could they use it as a
We,
storage unit? I mean, because you can buy a storage unit for
But I can tell you
$50 a
there's-
month, and these things are 20 times the size.
Do we need to have a plane audit? Do we need to have a plane
I
audit?
think we should probably say you gotta have a plane in there, or at least an active plane, because there's some planes
Yeah.
in there. William White had a plane in there, I think, for the longest time. And it should be airplane related, it's never been, and it's never been a rule.
Yeah.
But for the town's benefit, for the airfield's benefit, it's better to have aircraft out
Sure,
there flying there,
sure.
flying gas.
What we have before us here
Is
is
a
a 17-page document. I'm telling you, and it was hard reading, and I don't have a clue what the cost is.
That's what
There's no specific
it's
cost.
task order related, right? It's when we engage them.
We engage them under task orders under each other.
So I ruined an hour of my life trying to figure out if I was stupid as I thought I was, and there's no price in this.
Design some hangers, they give you a price for hangers.
So then I'm confused. Then why do, how can you, how do we enter in a contract with somebody and we don't have a price?
It'll all come back to council. Maybe it'll all come back to council. Yeah, so let's go ahead, let's have a motion and go ahead and,
General services
yeah.
agreement.
It's like B and B, right?
Is exactly what it means.
All right. Let's have a motion to approve this agreement and with the understanding that all projects specific will come back to council for their, with a dollar amount and approval.
So moved.
Mr. Scott is moved, Mr. Nash is seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
I thought it was coming. I thought
I'm
6-1.
I just need more time because I'm
That's
too
okay.
stupid to figure this out.
This next one intrigues me, folks. I want to make sure we're consistent. The request from, I can't read the handwriting. Is this Mr. Marshall?
The handwriting is quite growing.
I don't have my glasses. There you are. We cut your trees down a few years ago.
Yes, sir, you did.
I got you. All right, we have a request at 302 College Avenue.
I just simply need to inform you, we need to have a public hearing. I have not heard from the adjoining property owner, but this is purely informational, and it will have to be at the October council meeting if council so wishes to pursue the matter.
This is a request to eliminate an alley easement. What does staff think about this request?
We don't use it as an undeveloped alley, it's just grass and woods and such things, I don't think it's gonna affect town services. But I have not had the opportunity to get feedback from the other
I
properties.
say, this Miss Gwen, how does she feel?
Doors.
Marshall can respond to that.
Let the record show there was,
Be there for 2 hours.
well, let's communicate with everybody, get around the same page, okay?
Public hearing next month.
Public hearing at the October regular meeting, the third Monday.
And she will be notified of the public
Everybody
hearing.
be notified and comment.
Apparently, the issue has been discussed in the neighborhood, I can tell. Next up, we have committee referrals. The town manager wants me to refer the Bevel's parking lot, which is actually the municipal parking lot at
In the
Bevel's.
municipal parking lot, we've had a request to put up a semi-permanent structure on town property. Louis Benito has asked if Classic Grill be allowed to put up a storage building on that property.
In the parking lot?
I move to decline.
Yeah.
I don't see where you need a committee
Well,
referral.
wait, let's get a little more, I want to get a little more information. How many spots would it take up?
I think it would be 2 spots.
I mean, I move to
what
decline.
I'm just curious. Let's don't slam a door yet.
I don't know the exact details. That's for the request for the committee.
Well, here we go. Please tell Mr. Nito that when he is willing to put his request in writing before this council, I will refer it to our appropriate committee.
It's a storage building, and he can give you more details.
All right?
Chairman Willis.
Under the mayor's minutes, I received a letter, and I want to give this to Buildings and Properties, but it's a group called America Evolution, kind of playing on the word revolution, talking about how the Carriage Museum has been identified as a site to be included in the American Evolution Digital Trail app, a tourism initiative and legacy project of the 2019 commemoration. I want to refer this and what it might entail. Apparently, there's no cost, but I want to give Buildings and Properties a look at it, since that is our building. The Carriage Museum is owned by the people of Blackstone. That's all I have on the mayor's minute. I do want to remind, we have a closed session for legal matters, is that correct?
Can we have a couple of minutes in between a recession?
Recess, yeah.
I need Colonel Tom to come up here
Okay.
and meet with my committee.
At this time, there are citizen comments. Anyone like to?
Police?
Yes, anything on the police report?
Yes,
Chaplain Mitchell.
We're having, cookouts in our areas.
Starts Wednesday.
Wards, and we look for you council people who represent the wards to be out there with us.
It's the first one. The first one's this coming Wednesday. Then they're on Tuesday nights after that.
Right,
Where is the one that's coming Wednesday? I should know. I don't.
in, Tower and Armory.
At the Armory.
Yeah,
All right.
and we also have Coffee the Cops starting 4 October. We're gonna do that
That's in the
once a month.
package too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, okay.
Not that. What date is that, Mr. Mitchell?
4th of October.
8 to
That's
10 a.m. at
National-
McDonald's.
National Coffee with the Cop, Day.
I'll be there for the first half hour. I've got to be in Richmond that day, but I'll swing
I
by.
want you here, I'd like to see the mayor to introduce.
I'll be at every one I can get to. I promise.
I'm talking about the opening one for the
Same
cookout.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
What's your remarks?
I'm gonna be in the food truck helping Peanut.
You have 2 minutes.
Peanut's gonna request a
You
spot at
have
the town
3
parking
minutes.
lot.
Sir,
3 minutes. And,
beautiful. You get, I tell you, it's amazing. You're getting good. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Anyone else before we go into closed session? We're not gonna adjourn tonight. We're gonna continue to October 4th at 6 o'clock. Mr. Lee Scott. Mr. Scott has the floor.
Is that the same night that we got?
Yes, the same night we're having a meeting, but that's in the morning.
No,
From 6 to 8.
let's be clear.
mean,
Wednesday,
8 to
October
10.
4th, 8 to 10 a.m. McDonald's, Coffee with the Cop. Same day, 6 o'clock right here, continue council meeting. The night before October 4th, we have another cookout with the police. We're just everywhere this.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott.
Philip, reference Douglas parking lot. Is there a reason why the ball lights are turned off?
Give me one more time.
The ball light at the parking lot,
In which parking lot?
Douglas?
Don't know. It may just be something simple like just burn it.
Can we get a check?
I don't know if there's a specific reason why it turned off.
Can we get a check, please?
I think.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Anyone else in the audience who'd like to address council? We thank you for coming tonight. We've had a busy agenda. We will come back. Any other council members, any other issues other than the closed
I
session?
just,
All right. Hold on. I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. This is for legal matters. 2-minute recess.
How do you request to put a storage